The Galaxy S26 Ultra is the Android flagship most buyers actually plan to pick up. Foldables like the flashy Galaxy Z Trifold dominate headlines, but a 10-inch trifold is niche in both price and practicality. Year after year, Samsung's Ultra remains the dependable, high-performance slab foam mainstream Android fans trust with their money, and that's exactly why expectations for the S26 Ultra are sky-high. Here's the rub. If recent leaks are right, two of the S26 Ultra's most meaningful upgrades over the fan-favorite S25 Ultra may be off the table, leaving enthusiasts to wonder whether this is a bold leap or a careful refinement. What defines a true flagship isn't just a spec sheet, it's the immediate premium experience. The chassis feels tight and meticulously built, buttons are crisp, and tolerances are razor-thin. Power it on and menus snap open, apps never stutter, games stay smooth. The display is bright and color-accurate, photos look polished out of the box, and the stereo speakers deliver real punch. That's the magic people expect at the top of the market. Yet there's a growing blind spot among flagships: battery life. Mid-range phones are now chasing genuine 2 and even 3-day endurance with outsized cells. Honor's rumored Power 2, for instance, is tipped to carry a 10,000 mAh battery, double the Galaxy S25 Ultra's 5,000 mAh. Yes, Samsung's flagship-grade silicon, imaging, and software refinement will still outclass most mid-rangers in real-world polish. Still, it stings when cheaper phones boast marathon stamina, while flagships hover around the same capacities year after year. That's why early whispers that Galaxy S26 Ultra would finally nudge past 5,000 mAh to a modest 5,200 mAh caught attention. Even a 200 mAh bump, paired with a more efficient chipset and refined display tuning, could meaningfully extend real-world runtime. But a detailed comparison from the consistently accurate ICE universe points to another 5,000 mAh round, making it roughly 8 straight generations at that capacity. The consolation prize: faster wired charging, reportedly rising from 45 West to 60 West. It's a practical quality of life boost for top-ups, but not the endurance leap many were hoping for. Performance should be predictably excellent. The S26 Ultra is expected to arrive with Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. On paper, it's a clear step up from the previous Elite. In practice, last year's Snapdragon 8 family already delivers near-instant responsiveness for gaming, multitasking, and on-device AI. Expect up to 16 gigabytes of RAM again, with a likely shift to LPDDR5X for higher bandwidth and a snappier feel under load. The catch is economic rather than technical. RAM prices are elevated industry-wide, and multiple reports suggest Samsung could pass some of that cost along via higher pricing for the Galaxy S26 lineup in 2026. Design tweaks look subtle. Rumors point to the S26 Ultra being about 0.3 millimeters thinner and 4 grams lighter than the S25 Ultra. On a spec sheet, that's tidy progress. In hand, most people won't notice the difference between roughly 218G and 214G, and sub-half millimeter slimming won't dramatically alter ergonomics. It's refinement, not reinvention, likely focused on balance, pocketability, and accessory fit rather than a new silhouette. Camera expectations are conservative too. The main unit is widely tipped to remain the ISOCELL HP2 sensor, with the rest of the array keeping similar megapixel counts to the S25 Ultra. Some chatter even suggests the 3x telephoto could move to a physically smaller sensor. Samsung's image processing has carried the Ultra line admirably, and HP2 is a proven workhorse, but enthusiasts hoping for a hardware leap may feel underwhelmed if these specifics are accurate. Any real gains may come from tuning, eye-based denoising, smarter HDR, and faster capture pipelines rather than brand new optics. On the display side, think efficiency over spectacle. The S26 Ultra is likely to stick with a 6.9-inch LTPO panel, rated at up to 2,600 nits, and a dynamic 1 to 120 Hz refresh range. Samsung could adopt its newer M14 OLED material set, but multiple leakers say the panel's full capabilities may be intentionally constrained to protect battery life if the cell remains 5000 mAh. Practically, that could translate to an 8-bit color pipeline rather than pushing deeper bit depths. 2600 nit peak brightness cap conservative low-frequency PWM behavior for flicker control overall. Tuning that favors power savings over headline-grabbing display gains. In short, M14 may be deployed as a battery-preserving play rather than a pure visual upgrade great for longevity. Less thrilling for spec chasers sensitive to brightness, color volume, or PWM frequency. There's also the everyday usability angle that often gets overlooked. Faster 60 W charging, if realized, could reduce anxiety for power users. Even without a bigger battery, quicker top-ups between meetings or during a commute can make the phone feel more endurance-friendly. The trade-off is long-term battery health and heat management. Samsung typically tunes charging curves to protect cycle life, so expect a careful balance rather than an aggressive, short-lived speed race. Colorways look broader and more playful. One UI 8.5 wallpapers appear to preview the S26 Ultra palette and assessment backed by Ice Universe. Expect a familiar core plus some fresh accents. Black, white, silver, pink, orange, turquoise as usual. Not every shade will ship everywhere. Some colors tend to be Samsung online exclusives or region-specific, while the mainstream retail lineup centers on black, white, silver, and pink dot. So, who should upgrade? If you're on an S23 Ultra or older, the S26 Ultra will feel like a serious lift thanks to cumulative improvements in speed, efficiency, thermals, connectivity, charging, and software polish. Samsung's long software support window also helps justify the spend if you keep phones for years. If you're holding an S25 Ultra, it's a more nuanced call. Faster wired charging and LPDDR5X RAM bandwidth are real perks. But if the battery stays at 5000 mAh, the main camera sticks with HP2, and the display leans into efficiency rather than new highs in output, the S26 Ultra may register as a refined iteration rather than a must-have leap. The bottom line, Galaxy S26 Ultra is still poised to be the safest, most complete Android flagship for most people, powerful, polished, and dependable. But for spec-focused enthusiasts looking for unambiguous headline upgrades, the rumored decisions around battery capacity, panel tuning, and camera hardware suggest a measured wait and see. If the leaks are accurate, Samsung's play this year is refinement and reliability over reinvention, and for many mainstream buyers, that's exactly the point.